Okay, so Tommy, have you actually jotted down any of the holidays we're having this year? Of course, you would know the holidays, right?
Yes, but you know, there are like the 5 places of my list to go with my family, and 3 of them actually I still want to go to, you know, beach area or maybe up to the hill, for example. How about you?
You know, there's actually a perfect place to go with your family, which is actually camping. I've thought about it a lot of the times when it comes to camping. But again, of course, you know, bringing a child along and, you know, me being a lady who's like
So lady and child friendly, that's what you're seeking
That is
now.
what I'm seeking, and I think a lot of ladies out there also do feel the same way. Now, there are several great opportunities for a getaway from the craziness of Jakarta, especially with the increasing selections of resort out of town, offering a break from the city. And we mentioned one of them is actually camping, right?
Yes, camping.
But again, you know, we have a lot of issues where I'm afraid of insects, and then my children, we're afraid the children will fall over the hill or something like that.
So if you're like Tasha and prefer comfort over roughing it in nature, then glamping is for you.
Yes.
So with Indonesian natural beauty, a retreat in nature sometimes is just what you need to refresh.
That's true. Now here in our studio today is Kunal T, now owner of Trizara Resort at Taktaway in Lembang, West Java. Hello.
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Kunal, thank you for being here.
You're most welcome.
So from Lembang to Jakarta, huh?
It's not very far.
Yeah, it's not.
Now, you know, we mentioned about just now how camping, right? Like a lot of people actually do like camping. So men like camping.
A lot of men. Yeah.
That's right. But for women like me, though,
yes,
who are afraid of insects, well, insects just don't like me in general. Yes. No, how do we actually go camping?
Well, when we were building the place, of course, I had next to me was my wife. She said, the bathroom needs to be good, no insects, and has to be clean. So those are 3 main things that we focused on. And as we progressed from what was just going to be a standard campsite, we decided let's take it up a notch, take it up a notch, take it up a notch. So, and the result was Trizara for sure.
So by saying taking up a notch means in terms of comfort or any
in terms
exciting
of comfort, and then we said, okay, but there has to be good food.
Okay.
Oh, but there has to be good service. Oh, but you know, I'm going to be lazing around my tent, and I need somebody to send me room service, or you know, I don't want to hear other people on the phone, or I don't want to hear this, or you know, we had all those that checklist grew longer and longer and longer and longer. So then, oh, but I need hot water, and I need this to be really comfortable. So I can't live here otherwise. I can't stay here. I can't help out here. So that was actually part of the step-by-step phase until we got to truly glamping.
So by answering those questions or those perspectives, so how did you actually find the right place for those type of business?
Oh, it's not very easy because, see, either you go out too far and it's hard to access the place, and you know how infrastructure in Indonesia is. Not everything is perfect. So, or there's also certain places where the weather doesn't accommodate you very well, and the people around you have to support you too. So you have to help give, and they give back as well. So it's really important that you find the right ingredient for the right place. So of course we backpacked it out, stayed a night there, understood what it's like to actually stay there, see what the sounds are like of nature, is it calling for us or not, and then we made that decision. We said, okay, let's park here, let's build.
So how was the infrastructure back then?
Oh, it's terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
What was available back then?
Not much. I mean, you have minor roads through villages and so on and so on. But the government had not focused exactly in those regions. But of course now, with working together with them, you have to get the message across. You have to explain the importance, and then finally they get it, and then finally they help you out. So the people also, the guests that started to come, they started complaining, and they took to Twitter themselves, and the power of the masses, basically. Once they started complaining, the government made a decision to move on.
Was it hard for you to make a more glamour, luxury, comfort camping place, but not losing the essence of camping?
Oh, essence of nature,
the
right?
Nature,
very
exactly.
Tricky, very tricky. That feeling, first of all, it's a tent, right? But it's a luxury tent. So it's got proper roofing. It's got the 5 layers, so it's not too hot, not too cold. And also it really feels luxurious where you have your own proper windows, you can actually stand around, move around, you have a porch that's also perfect. Where now the tent, because it's a tent, you hear all the birds chirping outside.
Okay.
You hear, everything that's going on right around you. And there is no way, you're still in nature no matter what. You're a tent away from outdoor. You know, you can poke that tent and you can see outdoor if you really want to. And if you're staying in a villa or a solid building, you shut the door and it's complete silence. So you're not in nature. But
so it is still the infrastructure that matters, in trying to keep the whole nature atmosphere and ambience.
Yes, very much.
So how did you learn all this? I mean, basically to enhance the camping's level into glamping. How did you learn it?
You know, let me share with you who my teacher is. Do you have a phone on you? If you have a phone on you, you know him very well.
All right.
It's called Uncle Google. See? So once you start understanding what people want, you start reading responses. You start reading what's going on out there. Like what are people looking for, and what is the new thing? Or like, have you noticed everyone's always selfie crazy today? They're taking a picture of something they've never seen, or they're posting it, and then they're looking forward to how many comments and likes. And we said, you know what, this is a new era. We're living in the age where the millennials are going to take over. So what do they want? And it not only it's not a result of not only glamp. It's not because of glamping. It's because of everything else. What do we cater to the next generation? And of course, glamping is one of those things on the bucket list for most of us.
So these are the people you need to cater: millennials, family. So what aspect do you have, for example, in glamping, other than nature, or maybe the luxury level in it? So what else?
What else? Okay. So a lot of people say this, oh, if I go camping, if I go out in the forest, what will I do? So of course we had to be creative, and we had to think, we had to provide everything a standard hotel does not provide. So we said, okay, let's go with ATVs. Okay, let's go with 4-wheel driving. Let's go with hiking. Let's go with ropes course. Let's go with flying fox, a zip line. And we added on. The list just grew. And of course, our guests would come up to us and say, you know, do you have Monopoly? You know, I've not played Monopoly in a while. Or, you know, I've not played Twister. I used to play Twister, but my kid hasn't played Twister. He's only played everything on his iPad.
Exactly.
We need to change this up. How do we do this? So we said, okay, fine, let's get all the Monopoly boards, let's get all the card games, let's get Uno, and let's get Jenga, and let's get everything out there. So of course, that's all inclusive. You come there, and all those games are there at your disposal. We even have a guitar. So we have a guitar. So when you're at the bonfire, you want to play with a guitar, we have a guitar for you. It's already tuned as well, because our front desk boys know how to tune the guitar. So by the time you bring it down, you don't have to set it all up again. It's all ready. So those are little things. I mean, along the way, it's all about listening to what your guests say and what your friends say. And that's how we just slowly tweaked it.
And no higher technology in it.
That's
and
right.
no TV in the tent,
No
right?
TV.
No TV.
Are you able to do that,
Good.
Michokro?
I am, yeah.
Can I ask you, when you go for a trip with your kids, do they run in the room and turn on the television?
Exactly. That's what happened with my kids. And I always say, no TV.
Okay.
Let's go out and swim. And then that's it.
So after we finished building this place, we walked in, we go, you know, we observed what would happen when a family walks in. And then the kids, they open up the room and they go, wow! And they look around and they're like, where's the television?
No TV.
And they're like, okay, don't worry, I'll figure it out. And then they run around outside, and we notice they start enjoying outside.
Exploring, they try to find out. I think that's important, right?
Okay, let's talk more after the short break. We'll come back.
Don't go anywhere.
back, and before we continue our discussion here, what just happened with Ia? There was silent disco.
That was silent disco, exactly.
That's a new trend.
We are reducing noise pollution. That's what we're doing right here. Really
Just
good, right?
for 2
Going green.
minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's good. It's
do the
better than
silent disco.
nothing. All right, now back to glamping.
Yes.
All right, now, okay, we know camping has been around for years and years and
Decades.
years from our grandparents, and it's still going on pretty much the same until now. But what about glamping? Do you see it as a passing trend right now?
Oh, that's a tricky question. I think glamping is a trend for those who always want to try something one time and that's it, right? But there are those that always run back to nature again to look for that feeling.
Okay.
So a trend, yes, for those. There are two types of people. For those who says, okay, I've done this and that's it. And there are also those that I need that feeling. I'm looking for that feeling. I'm going there. So that's gonna always be there. Going back to nature doesn't get old, and you're always gonna look for it too. And when we're living in the city like this, you always you're deprived of something.
And based on 6 months after it launched,
Yes.
what are the biggest market of your glamping?
Honestly, we have lots of families that come in,
Families,
groups, corporate groups. We have a lot of couples, honeymooners. It gets quite interesting because don't forget it's a tent and a honeymooner in a tent. So everything can be heard outside. So how does that work? I don't know, but they still do come.
So
It's
do
very
you
interesting.
actually place the
Yes.
the honeymooners tent
Far,
different
far away.
Mind you not, I give you the secret. We do have certain tents that are further down the hill, which are a bit more separate again.
All right.
Okay.
So they're very, very private, and we have you have maximum privacy there. So we offer those to the honeymooners, and we have the whole package as well. When they come in with the balloons, with this, with the flowers, with this, and then we have a special meal for you and things like that. So we offer all those. Those are the things they ask for, and of course we have to provide.
Okay. And he mentioned about his wife in the first segment, right? So
Yes.
did you start this with your wife, basically?
Oh my God. So we got married, went for a honeymoon, and I took her straight out to the forest with me.
Straight to the forest.
Straight to the forest, So I explained to her the beauty. And then the first thing she said, will I be able to stay here? When it's done, will I be comfortable? I need a proper bathroom. It has to be a good bathroom too. It has to have a good shower too. It has to have this, and it has to have a hairdryer, and it has to have this. And it has to have a comfortable bed, and it has to have privacy, or it has to have good food. So I'm like, okay, here are the checklists. As we go along, this is becoming glamping. It can't be just the standard tents. You just erect those tents, and you come with your backpack, and that's it. And you eat jagung bakar, or
Indomie rebus.
Indomie, or like the standard. So of course, those are the few things that people do look for.
Yeah.
We do serve all of that, of course.
Yeah.
So some people come there. People have come there with ketchup as well, thinking we're going camping. We're gonna bring saus tomat. We're gonna bring sambal. We're gonna bring some food, pop me, cup noodles. They get there and they realize they bring back the same amount of things that they brought in because everything is there. But it's very camping orientated. So that means barbecues, picnics. All those are all there.
When you think camping, right, you think going hiking.
Yeah.
Right, and then you build a tent there when
Yes.
when it's too high up in the mountains,
Yeah.
right? But in your case now, do people actually go camping there to just refresh, stay with their family, have fun, or do they actually have intentions of like the traditional
Yeah, do
camping?
other
isn't
stuff,
it?
or hiking, or how do you call it? Walking in the hill? Trekking.
Trekking.
I'll share with you
Walking
one
in the
experience. What happened was we had a group come in, and some of them actually brought their own tents, right? So they stayed in the main tent for the most part, and in the evening they set up their main tent. They slept in it for like 2 hours. They couldn't take it, and they went back to the bed.
So
because the bed was there.
So there's a land provided to put
Yes,
your
of
own
course. If you
tent
want to
there
set
as
up,
well.
remember, all that land is all out there for you guys, for anybody, for any guest that walks in. So they want to set up here, they want to set up there. Just ask us. We'll help you. What do you need to set it up? So.
But of course, being, let's say, in a mountain,
Yes.
where there's a lot of trees, and it's different when you're in a hotel, you have it's in a compound where it's
Yes.
covered, and
Yes.
it's easier for you to get rid of, let's say, unwanted little friends,
creepy crawlers
creatures.
or
Exactly. But
creatures.
how do you do that? How do you
Oh,
maintain
it's tricky.
that?
That's another.
I don't want to be waking up with
a lot
a
of people
snake.
said, "Oh, how did you get rid of these animals. We say
Yeah.
no, we didn't. We managed to remove them, relocate them. So because we're very go green, right? So we have to focus on that too. So we moved them out of our zone and we fenced it up.
Okay, so there's
It's a natural fence.
So let's move the snake,
Yeah.
okay?
Hey, Sige,
No,
move.
none of
That's
that.
right.
None of that. None of that. So there is a. I had to study. I remember I went back to Google. I said, how do you get rid of snakes in a garden? So I went back and I couldn't figure it out. And they gave me all kinds of chemicals, this, that. And I'm like, that's really bad for the environment. So I realized, let me just ask the locals. Because in that region, I'm sure there is a way to do it. So they just put salt all around the fence. So they put salt all around the fence. And there's nothing else that crosses
Very
over.
traditional, yeah?
Very
I would
traditional.
say
It's
that.
such a simple method.
And it
but
works.
It works. It works. So it's clean.
So speaking about locals, you employ locals there.
Yeah,
Local
we do.
residents?
They are the heart. You see, so what we decided to do was rather than bring in people from across,
Outside, yeah.
why don't we just get everyone that's around our area to help us? But of course, remember that the education was very poor at that point, but we needed to show them something a whole different level. Service industry,
Yeah.
because every guest that comes has a requirement. I want this, I want that, I want this, I want that.
Especially since this is more into luxury and comfort,
Yeah,
right?
and we city people are very fussy. We want this. How come it's not like that? How come it's not like this? So how do you handle each guest's requests? That's always the biggest challenge. And we managed to teach each and every one through rigorous training. And now they are with us and they're very happy. They've learned a whole new world. And I honestly think it's actually influenced even their families too. Because whenever I go visit their families in their houses, I can see the changes from before when they were in construction to before when they were selling coffee and cigarettes. Now they're working in a hotel. They're, let's say, the housekeeping. Their own house is clean.
So they implemented it at home.
At home too.
They shifted their lifestyle,
Yes.
basically, right?
Yes.
So in terms of education, do you
Yes.
educate the customers as well to go back to nature, for
Oh.
example? Do you provide like a rundown activities in
Yeah.
your glamping?
Now, without this place, it's very tough because we see all the billboards. It says go green, it says go,
Yeah.
love nature, save water, save this, save that, save the animals, save this. But the thing is, once they are already at Trizara, they get there, it's very easy to educate them because they understand what you're talking about. They visualize it and experience it. So it works both ways. It works to our advantage, actually, and it becomes a breeze to educate. Anyway, more than educate is to share our experience. Because if we educate somebody, they'll be like, I know everything. What are you talking about? So in this case, this is how we feel when we're here.
Okay.
Don't you feel the same too? And they'll be like, okay, that's how I feel too. You're right. That's right. This is how we should live life. Better. Live this way, and we'll save Earth. We'll save this. I'm aware now. The awareness levels is higher.
But you do provide the rundown of
course.
activities, right? Or it's optional, basically?
No, it's a lot of you just have to book in advance, like 2 or 3 days before you come. Just call up. Say, I want to go four-wheel driving tomorrow, or I want to do, the ropes courses, or I want to do lots of activities, fun and games, or I want my room set up for a birthday. You just call us, and it makes it. We can coordinate better on the site.
Yeah.
You can't. Nothing is done instantaneously. You know that.
And now we're in the modern world, and of course, you have a lot of people from the main city going in looking for, nature. But what is the one activity that they actually come to look for? Is it hiking?
To
Is
chill.
it to chill, basically. That's the one thing they
Enjoy the
want.
view,
To
enjoy
chill
nature,
and
right?
take photographs, sadly.
Selfie.
But
Selfie.
we noticed there. I think out of that 100% of the time, I think 20% of the time is on chilling. 20% is taking photographs. 20% is hanging by the cafe and with hanging out with friends. How many times have I said 20? 20% is, I think, playing with fun and games and activities such as archery and so on. We have archery too, and the rest, I think, is sleeping. So yeah. So I think
And you
they do a
spoke
lot
about,
of that.
Selfie, right? So
Yeah.
that's why you have photo booths as well.
We have a
right?
photo booth.
Yeah.
It's a theme concept, something again a different background. We were creative. I mean, we drew everything. There was no architect and there was no contractor, so we drew everything. My wife looked at me and she's like, that looks good. Let's do this. Let's make this. How do we make this? I don't know. Let's refer to Google again. Let's go back. Let's show the boys how to do this. So we'd sit there, and then 3-4 weeks later, it was done. But you have to be on site.
That's true. But I think it is very hard right now to actually make people, especially modern people, working people, to actually be one with the nature. As in, really just go out and be adventurous, instead of just chilling, like you said, right? Is it hard for you? Do you always have to come up with ideas to actually make the customers even more educate the customers?
I don't see them as customers. I see them as guests. I see them as friends and guests. So it makes it easier also for me to relate with them. And that's most people see it as, oh, it's a business. How do we do this? No, we don't see that. We see it as, what will they enjoy most? Don't worry, people will flock over.
Okay.
They'll come. But we have to always create something that's different. And every day we cook up something new that's something that they've never seen and they'll appreciate. And that's the biggest challenge.
You need to approach them differently, basically.
Everybody has everything. Everybody has a different wish. So some will say, I want to learn how to ride a bike. But how do we do it? So we have actually a plaza, and the kids who are learning a bike, they fall, they get up, they fall, they get up. Because it's a synthetic turf, when they fall, it doesn't hurt. So we have to think of those little things too.
Okay, so when is the best season to visit?
Yeah, the best season to go.
Two types of seasons, right? We have here is summer and a rainy season.
Rainy.
I like the rainy season. Reason being, okay, this is people will object to this. First of all, when it rains, the smell is different.
I love it.
Your
The
senses
grass,
are all activated. Your fog sweeps in, your mist, your dew in the morning. So those, you get all those elements, those characters.
Okay.
And also there's a lot of oxygen. You just feel like it's just always clean and the grass is always greener. And it's just so much better. But when it comes to summer, of course, yes, you can play outside a bit more often, and you can enjoy. But it gets a bit warmer, I must say. At nighttime, normally 16 degrees, 17 degrees.
That's
so
okay,
it gets a little bit warmer. But some people do prefer summer. Some people do prefer rainy season. I'm better with rain.
What about you? Which would you go for?
Rainy.
Rainy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm still thinking.
It's good to do the off-road as well in the rainy season.
Exactly. Oh, the off-road. You go with the car and the water enters the car. And, you've seen in those movies where the water is entering the car, the mud's entering. You cross a river. We have all that too.
Really a man's, man's hobby.
We have to put that place in our list, right?
Thank you. Yes.
You're most welcome.
Work trip. You mentioned.
Kunal, thank you so much for being here.
welcome.
All the best.
We'll see you soon at
Yes.
Trizara.
See you soon.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.